Hello everyone. Last week, there was a major meeting in Chennai which had all the top political leaders from the south of India attending. And they formed a joint action committee on delimitation. What is delimitation? Delimitation is a constitutional provision. But why haven't we had delimitation for such a long time? And why is it an issue now in 2025? Are the issues raised by the southern states relevant, or is it just a political stunt to take focus away from more significant issues? What are the possible solutions we can explore to solve this political conundrum? Let's go into a deep dive. First of all, what is delimitation? Delimitation is the process of fixing the number of seats as well as boundaries of those seats for both the Lok Sabha as well as the Vidhan Sabha or the state legislative assemblies. It also involves finding out which seats are to be reserved for SCs as well as STs. The concept of delimitation, it is based on the concept of political equality. That is, every person in this country should have one vote which is of equal value. That is, one person, one vote, one value. Now, what do we mean by one person, one vote, and one value? Suppose there are two constituencies, hypothetically, constituency A and constituency B. Their respective MPs are P1 and P2. Constituency A has a population of 1,000 people, whereas constituency B has a population of 2,000 people. Now, for P1 to get elected, hypothetically, the maximum votes he needs to get is 501 votes. For P2 to get elected, the maximum number of votes is 1,001 votes, which is more than the population of constituency A. So, if you are a voter in constituency B, the value of my vote is less than that of constituency A. And my vote matters less in a way. And also, for the MP of constituency B, it is much more difficult actually to reach out to all the members compared to P1 because he has to only deal with less number of people. So as far as both the representation as well as accountability as well as performance of MP are concerned, the people of constituency B are disadvantaged. When we talk of one person, one vote, one value, we are working to ensure that this does not happen, that everyone has the same value. Every citizen of India who is eligible to vote has one vote, and that vote has the same value as any other citizen of India from any other state in the country. That's what we aim to do with the delimitation exercise. Independent India's first delimitation exercise was conducted in 1951. It was actually done by the Election Commission, and they divided the country into 494 Lok Sabha seats. The second one in 1961, now it is being done by a Delimitation Commission appointed by the government as per the provisions of the Delimitation Act, which is passed by the Parliament. In 1961, we had 522 seats, and in 1971, we went up to 542 seats. In 1974, that became the present 543 seats after Sikkim was introduced into the Indian Union. In 1976, as per the provisions of the 42nd Amendment Act, the delimitation process was frozen till 2000. Now, why was the delimitation process frozen till 2000? Because by 1976, it was seen that the seats of the North Indian states, where the population growth was much higher, was growing at a much faster rate compared to the southern states, which had controlled their population. And it was not just the southern states. The smaller states like Punjab, Himachal Pradesh, which are also part of the northern India, they were also getting affected due to this huge population growth in states like Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Madhya Pradesh, etc., kicking the can down the road. The 84th Amendment Act, which came in 2001, again froze the number of seats till 2026. It is decided that the seats would be delimited, or we would have delimitation according to the first census after 2026. Now, naturally this would be 2031, but what happened was in 2021 we did not have census due to COVID, and we have not yet had the census yet. The next census would be after 2026, which means before 2029 delimitation can happen, which is where the concerns of mainly the southern states come from. The differences between the states which have high population growth and the southern states has massively increased between 1976 and 2026. For example, in the 1971 census, the population of Kerala was 2.2 crores, whereas that of Rajasthan was 2.9 crores. When we come to the most recent census, the population of Kerala is 3.3 crores, whereas that of Rajasthan is 9 crores. So the difference is massive. And the southern states are afraid that they are going to lose out as far as their voice at the union is concerned, as also they feel that they are being penalized for their successful governance and population control measures. That is at the heart of the issue surrounding delimitation at the present moment. Now, also recently there has been delimitation exercises conducted in two states, Jammu Kashmir and Assam. The opposition parties have been heavily critical of these delimitation exercises, saying that it has been done to politically favor the ruling party at the center. Now that will always come because the government has the power to appoint Delimitation Commission, and you can't appeal against the award of Delimitation Commission even to the Supreme Court. So that is at the basis of the fear of the southern states at the present moment. So what are the concerns of the southern states? Let's take a look into that in detail. The primary concern of the southern states, of all the southern states really, is that they are going to lose parliamentary representation. The number of seats they are going to send to Lok Sabha is going to reduce drastically as per the new census, because I already talked about the difference in population now. In this regard, the Honorable Home Minister Shri Amit Shah has come out with a statement saying that no state would be losing any number of seats after delimitation. But the fears persist even after that statement. Also, the southern states feel that they are being punished for successful population control measures as well as better governance. For example, in the 1960s, Kerala and Tamil Nadu were the poorest states in the country as far as per capita income was concerned. But at present, they are among the richest states in the country. So the southern states feel that all their success with regards to population control, governance, they are going to be penalized for it. And the laggards, as far as population control and governance, they are going to be benefiting as far as political representation is concerned. The third aspect is that they are afraid that there will be domination by the northern states. Recently, there was a book published called as the North versus South, India's Great Divide. In that book, there's a talk of the divide which is coming up between southern India and northern India. This has also been touched up in articles by the magazine The Economist. In almost every indicator, economic or cultural or social, the southern Indian states lead the northern Indian states by a huge amount. The southern states feel that if there's a northern dominance following the next delimitation, it would affect their regional interests as far as their ability to move forward with their new agendas. Also, another fear is that it will worsen the center-state relations. This is specifically with regards to tax devolution from the center. We have already seen that following the 15th Finance Commission recommendations, states like Karnataka and Kerala lost a significant chunk of the devolution of funds from the divisible pool, which is recommended by the Finance Commission of the country. They are afraid that in future this would increase because the center would want to award the northern states which give them more seats instead of the southern states whose representation is less. Another issue is the suspicion or a lack of trust in the whole process. The Delimitation Commission is set up by the central government. It's a government appointed commission and it holds immense power. The southern states fear that the ruling party in the center would create a commission in such a way and also hold delimitation in such a way that it would benefit them. And this fear has been accentuated by criticisms of delimitation which has been conducted in Assam as well as Jammu Kashmir recently. The opposition parties feel that delimitations in both those states were done in a totally unscientific manner, as well as there was a total lack of transparency in the process as well. The southern states also demand more transparency and a more negotiated settlement as far as delimitation is concerned. So, what are the possible solutions to this problem? When we analyze, we understand that there are two concepts which are in conflict in this situation. One is the concept of one person, one vote and one value, which is the principles of federalism which have brought together our great nation. The first solution, which is being proposed by many research papers as well as experts, is to simply increase the number of seats in Lok Sabha. That is, if we increase the number of seats as per the proportion which we did in 1971 census, then the number of seats in Lok Sabha should go up to about 848. In that case, no seats would be lost to any state, most specifically the southern states as well. But even in this case, the opposition is that southern states feel the percentage of their representation in this Lok Sabha would again be diminished, and southern states are significantly opposing even this provision. Another solution being proposed is to increase the number of seats in Vidhan Sabha or the state legislative assemblies so that there is greater representation at the state level, so that people have better representation at the state level. There is another representation in the same line to strengthen the local self-governing bodies by increasing representation, by giving them more financial as well as other powers so that they can function better. So that we have at grassroots level and state level a much better democracy, whereas at national level we continue to freeze the number of seats so that the present situation won't goes. But the problem there is it significantly hinders the one person, one vote, one value at the national level. And look at the voters of North India. For years they have been affected because their MP is representing a huge number of people. For example, an MP in UP on an average represents 30 lakh people compared to an MP in Kerala who represent around 17 lakh people. That's almost double. And it's not fair on the people of UP to continue this. So we need to have probably a national level delimitation as well. So yes, strengthening local governments as well as Vidhan Sabhas is good, but probably leaving out national level delimitation may not work out. Another significant solution which is being floated is to reform our Rajya Sabha. Now when you look at a Rajya Sabha is the House of States. It is the house which is supposed to uphold the interest of the states. So what are the solutions being provided? One is to make sure that instead of the present system in Rajya Sabha where the number of seats is according to population, take that away and let each state, big or small, have equal representation in Rajya Sabha. This would make our Rajya Sabha similar to the House of States in United States, as well as many other federal republics across the world. And also, another thing being proposed is that Rajya Sabha, just like the US Senate, should also have a say in the money bills, or more specifically, the budget of the country. Another solution being proposed recently in the Joint Action Committee is that the seats in Rajya Sabha should be apportioned according to the economic performance of states. So the states who are doing well economically should have more seats in the Rajya Sabha. Now the problem is this would require significant constitutional amendments, which would need the center and the states to agree. And at present, no union government is going to do this because it's going to significantly weaken any union government in present and in future. So this is a very difficult situation to arrive at, but it's a very useful solution at the same time. Another curious solution being floated is, instead of using the total population of the state or the total population of the constituency, divide constituencies according to the number of elected voters. Now this is different because the population also includes people from 0 to 18 who cannot vote, and there are many people within a constituency who may not have elected to vote as well. So instead of having a delimitation based on overall population, let's just have on voters. Now how would this matter? Because in the south, the southern states have better voter registration as well as more number of people actually voting in the election compared to northern states. But when you look at the overall number of voters, northern states would still have more. So northern states will have a greater number of seats even after this, but southern states will not lose so much. They are getting rewarded for better political participation in that regard as well. Another solution is to do the delimitation, but instead of doing it strictly as per population norms, do it as per a concept called as digressive proportion. Now, digressive proportion works in the way that a state having higher population would have lesser proportion of seats. Like for example, according to up to say 10 million population, or 100 million, like up to say 2 or 3 crore population or 5 crore population, the delimitation would be as per the same for every state. But above 5 crore population, every state having greater than 5 crore population, their number of seats would be reduced. So the difference would not be so vast. We already have this digressive proportion in the allocation of seats in Rajya Sabha. So much so that the bigger states do not have as much Rajya Sabha seats as they should be having. And the smaller states have more seats than they should be having as well. But the problem is it's extremely complicated, and it also violates the one person, one vote, one value as well. The best solution could actually be combining a lot of these solutions. Okay. Let's have delimitation in Lok Sabha, increase the number of seats in Lok Sabha, as well as also start reforms in Rajya Sabha. Another solution could be that the economically front-runner states, the states which are having issues, that they will be left out of this delimitation exercise, let them be given more autonomy financially as well as functionally as well. Now, let them have centrally sponsored schemes without any conditions. Center should be just giving them money to just fulfill the programs according to what they like. Let them have more powers of borrowing, more financial devolution as well if need be, so that their main concerns with development and moving forward, and they are able to set more agenda. And this will also give more incentive for the other states to economically perform better as well. We have seen many solutions, all of which are complicated and require significant political negotiation and compromise to achieve. But these solutions, even if some of them are accepted, offer an opportunity for a better future for our country, a more balanced federalism, and a country which is more united than ever before. Rather than seeing this as a problem, we should see this as an opportunity to reset some of the injustices of the past and move forward together as a country, not as North and South, but as a united India. So that's it from my end. See you in another video, another topic. Thank you very much. Take care.